booting up. Hi, everyone. You're watching Good for the Game TV. It's 8:30. It's Thursday night. It's time for GGGaming Gone Mad. And what a massive sporting weekend we've got ahead. Well, even if you're not a massive horse racing punter, you love nothing more than a bet on the Vodacom Durban July. We'll be talking about that, probably spending the bulk of the show on the July, because it is quite simply South Africa's biggest horse race. We'll also be looking at the Super Rugby Final, and if time permits, we'll cover a little bit of Cricket World Cup as well, but we pretty much know who the semi-finalists are there. If you haven't watched our show before, make sure you go down below this video, hit the subscribe button, and also have a look at the comments there. We've got a competition, which we'll cover later, and also a couple of useful links, including how to open an account at gggaming.bet. And talking of GGGaming, I've got Gary from GGGaming. He's raced from the airport to make the show. Gary, good to see you.
Hey, Brent, how you doing, mate? Good to see you as usual. Yeah, Dinkum ran from the airport. The problem was I was running at the airport as well, you know. Ate something in Joburg that wasn't 100%. But anyway, got home and still in one piece, you know what I mean, which is more than I can say for the business class toilet at Oliver Tambo Airport, you know what I mean. I personally must have been destroyed that poor place. Anyway, I'm feeling much better now. I've got a Lucozade instead of my usual coffee and ready to roll, Brent. And, you know, you said something there, and we didn't discuss it before the show, that, you know what I mean, for people there to join GGGaming, let's just do this. Join GGGaming today and deposit anything. Deposit anything from 500 Rand, and I'll give them 250 Rand. Only new customers, I must send you their name. I'll give them 250 Rand in cash, Brent. No turnover clause or anything. Put in 500, 250. I trusted enough that the guys aren't going to go and withdraw it without a bet. You know what I'm saying? And let's see if anybody want to do that. Let's kick off that way.
Excellent. That's nice. So any of you guys on there not already GGGaming customers, and welcome to Robert G and Kevin Turner, who've already popped on the live chat. Then, guys, open an account and follow the instructions there, and you can get 250 back in cash. Thanks, Gary. That's a nice one. And what better way to spend your cash this weekend than, of course, on the Durban July? What sort of turnover you seen there at GGGaming? Have you had a lot of betting interest?
There has been. We haven't been as busy as last year, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of the money on the July is always going to be spent on the tote, Brent. The dividends are massive on the tote. We have been exceptionally busy, though. We are every year. I just want to also clear up one thing. You know, you said South Africa's ultimate horse race, and it is. But remember something about the July, just for people that may not be horse racing experts. The July is a handicap. So it doesn't mean that the best horse is going to win it. It means the best handicapped horse with, you know what I mean? Obviously, draws and jockeys, pace, luck in running's got a lot to do with it. But it's not a weight for age like the Met, where invariably the better horse should win it. If everything goes according to plan in a handicap, all the horses should finish right on top of each other, you know? So that brings outsiders into the game, you know what I mean? And I think that's what gets people excited, the public excited, that you have got a chance with a 50 or 100 to 1 shot. So, you know, don't be shy in a handicap to have a dip at something, paying up at 70 or 80 Rand on the tote, Brent. You know, 60. We've got horses on our boards at 100 to 1. You have a dip there. You know what I mean? Put on your 300 Rand and you can stand to win 30, 40,000, you know?
Excellent. And I'm just looking at your betting now. Obviously, Gary, all the talk is on the favourite, the Mark de Kock trained Hawam, and that's been varying between 2 to 1 and 5 to 2 in the week. I think you're pretty much top price on Hawam now. I think the top I've seen this week is 5 to 2. It's almost like there's two sides to this July. There's the people who say it's race over, Hawam's going to win it, and then there's those who say let's beat it. But I mean, the favourite has been very firm in the betting.
I'll tell you what, it has, Brent. And I mean, let's be honest, right? It is a super horse. There's no doubt about it, right? That its ability cannot be questioned, right? What can be questioned is its temperament. I mean, we all know what happened at Turpentine a couple months ago. It went through the parade ring, you know what I'm saying, Brent? We all know that it fought for its head. It fought for its head. Its head was up in the air in its gallop and everything as well. In a race like this, where there's 18 horses all going mad and all trying to get across and everything, if he pulls early, right, then the jockey, and of course he's a world-class jockey, you know, Anton Marcus has to make a decision, you know. Does he let the horse go to the front? And I know that that's not their riding instructions, you know what I'm saying, Brent? Or does he just keep pulling and fighting the horse, in which case it uses up even more energy and everything comes round, and then he's going to have a wall of horses in front of him. He's not the best jockey for nothing, but he's got his work cut out. There's no doubt about it, right? Anton has got his work cut out on Saturday. He's on the best horse. There's pressure, you know what I'm saying? But it's not the easiest ride in the world. So, you know, my honest opinion, I don't think Hawam will run second, third, or fourth.
You think it's going to win, or it's going to run nowhere?
Or it's going to fight and pull. And you know what else worries me? And I mean, you know, I'm not talking badly or anything. Like I said, it is a world-class race. There's no doubt one of the best 3-year-olds in the world right now. When he went through the parade ring at Turfentine a couple of months ago, there was a big crowd, but nothing like the crowd that he's going to experience on Saturday. That's going to be just, very few of the people there are race-going people. They're all going to be excited. A lot of them are going to be drunk. They're going to be making a noise. You know what I'm saying? His temperament is going to be tested to the maximum. You know what I'm saying? They're in the parade ring for long. Jockeys are getting called up. Yes, I know that the Cox stable are a very professional stable, and they'll obviously know all these things, and they'll try to counter it as quickly as they can, and you know what I mean? Try to get the pressure off the horse, But he is an animal, and you know what I mean? Animals have got instinct, and he will be looking around. It's going to be really, really interesting. I mean, he's the best July field we've had for I don't know how many years. You know what I'm saying? Brent, you go back, I'm not going to mention names, I don't want to insult horses, but some of the July winners from 7, 8, whatever, I don't know how many years ago, they were just hard-knocking handicappers that were well-weighted. You know what I'm saying? This, the one we've discussed already in depth. Do it again, last year's winner. What a racehorse. You know what I'm saying, Brent? The only reason he didn't win the Met, and I'm not, also again, it's just my opinion, is because he got a ride that, I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, was one of the worst rides I've seen in a big race, in a Group 1, from a good jockey, and he's a good jockey, Richard Free. That was a shocker of a ride, you know what I'm saying? But he was beaten there on that day by, and so I think, for me, Do It Again is my tip, right? I think that he's got it paying for him. I think he's a world-class horse. I think that he's better than he was last year. I think that the Snakes have flown a little bit under the radar as much as they can with a superstar like this. And I think that, my honest opinion, we're going to see the best horse in the country, come out and show it again. Well, show it again, do it again and everything. I mean, it's all there. The name says it all, right? I'm very much in the camp of Do It Again. I think there's huge value at 5-1. But the horse that beat him in the Met, Rainbow Bridge, he's there. He's no slouch either. He was, I don't know if we won 8 or 9 or whatever it in a row before he came and stuck in a couple of really close finishes in the Greenpoint and the Queen's Plate. He's a superstar in his own right. There's no questioning Rainbow Bridge's ability. And I think he races now for the Rat Race, very famous racing family. He's got all the credentials to win the race as well, Brent? And he's a superstar in his own right. So if anybody wants to back him, 7-8-1, good value, right? Then there's the other horse from the Cox stable, Baron, or however you pronounce it.
Baron, I think, yes.
Baron, I think is the correct pronunciation, right? Who the Cox stable have been saying is the right one, and he's best prepared for this race and everything. You know what I'm saying? His last win was facile, and I mean, there's no doubt that he's got ability. My opinion, he could easily win it. He was my first pick a while ago, but I'm now starting to think maybe he'll be a bigger contender as a 4-year-old if he stays in the country. But he's a big runner as well, plenty of talent. I don't want to miss out too many horses, But then there's horses like Twist of Fate, who wasn't that far behind Hawam last time they met, Head Honcho, who led the Met with with 100 meters to go, only to get run out of it in the last 100. This is a much shorter running now, Brent. If he gets away from them, yes, he's got a shitty draw. But if he gets away from them at the top of the straight, they may battle to pull him in, We've got a filly, Return Flight. She's won 2 Group 1s, and I mean, she's down at 50-1. Lady in
price.
Can win it. Legal. He's been sorry, have you got something to say? I'm just rambling on here.
No, go for it. I'm listening. I was just going to say a couple of the horses you mentioned. Southpaw, who does our preview on the Good for the Game site. He tends not to go for favourites, and he's got a pretty good record in the features. And he's gone for Twist of Fate and Return Flight as 2 of his horses, and a horse called Divine Odyssey as well that he reckons has got a good place chance.
50-1 shot. Lady in Black, for my money. Great value to run a place. Brent, you're going to get 12, 14 to run a place. I think she'll make up the back end of quartets. Then, like I said, Legal Eagle, he was horse of the year. How many years, right? He got beaten just 2 lengths in the July 3 or 4 years ago after getting interfered with. I think he's off a merit rating of 125. They're now down to 115. So if he can reproduce that run on this handicapping, he should be right there. Personally, I don't really like him. He's going on 8. He'll be 8 in less than a month's time. But I've also learned in this game never to question Sean Terry. If Sean Terry puts a horse in a race, he's not doing it because he needs to see Van Niekerk's colours, right? Or this isn't Van Niekerk, this race is in Bram van Heesien's colours. But he doesn't have to see his name in the spotlight, Sean. He's done it all, you know what I mean? Champion trainer, he's won every race that there is to run. He's putting the horse in there because he thinks it's got a realistic chance, you know what I'm saying? Personally, I think Return Flight will finish in front of Legal Eagle from the Terry stables. But to me, it's just a mouth-watering prospects. And you know what I mean? This, like I said, and Hawam just brings this whole sandwich together. You know what I'm saying? This champion horse from this huge stable. You know what I'm saying, hey, Brent? Everybody knows how good he is, you know? But everybody also knows that there is just something there that might click in his mind and not perform. And who knows, you know what I mean? You know, we're all hoping that they all get to the start and go in perfectly and they all come out perfectly. And, you know, there's still so much luck in running. You know, it's great race day. Yeah, there's great, not only about the July, right? There's also the Garden Province where we see Susanna, who was, you know what I mean, was the top filly in the country last year. Had 1 or 2 surprise losses, but she's back to her best. She's running in the Garden Province. That's a race where historically the best fillies have won it in the past, fillies like Bella and so on. You know, she's going to be around about 6 to 4. There'll be a lot of money for her later on in the day. I've got a horse running in the 8th race, horse called Silver Maple. He's a 6-7 to 1 shot. He got beaten over a mile, running over a mile. He got beaten over a mile by Rainbow Bridge a few months ago. If he reproduces that run, you know, he's big value at 81. And if any good for the gamers are there, and he does happen to win, you know what I mean? I'd be delighted for them to go lead him in. I'm sure the rest of the partners will get the fright of their life, but that's their problem, not mine. Just go there, say you want a GGGaming customer, and you leading in Silver Maple if he wins, and I promise you, I'll have no problem with that, and I'll back them all up, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a couple of guys at the track. Gary, I just want to run the competitions quickly, the 2 we want to run on the July, just so the guys have enough time on the live chat, because we've got one. First of all, guys, we do have a competition. Gary has a promo on the July. I've put that in the comments below. You don't have to rush to do that now. You can email. It involves you picking the top 10, and you can get anything from a 5K to a 50K in free bets there. So we'll talk about that in a sec. But I want to know 2 competitions here. The one for a 500 Rand voucher. I want you to put your swinger, just one swinger. That's 2 horses to come in the top 3. So pick 2 horses, and the person who gets the swinger with the highest dividend will win the 500 Rand voucher there. And then we're also going to have a saddlecloth competition, Gary.
July weekend, we'll give away 1,000. They're more than happy to do that.
Okay, 1,000 Rand. So the person that gets the swinger, obviously, if there are no winners of the swingers, and no one will get it. I see David G already saying, well, he said up above, he says he likes the 2 De Kock horses in swingers there. So they must come in the top 3. We'll check the tote dividend. Whoever gets the highest dividend then will win that prize. So you've got to make a decision now. You either just go to hit the swinger, or you go to get a big dividend. And then we'll do one for a bit of poker, Gary, a saddlecloth competition. Yeah. First, the sum total of the saddlecloth of the first 5 horses past the post. And I'll also put the conditions down below. But you add the total saddlecloth numbers up, and if you get it correct, it's a 2,000 Rand shuffle up poker voucher. Otherwise, there'll be a 1,000 Rand voucher split between or to the closest guy, as long as he's within 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can get going. I see already numbers coming in 4 and 12, 1 and 3. Get going with your swingers, guys. And then also the total, sum total, just put their saddle and the total. And if you get that spot on, you've got a 2,000 Rand poker voucher there. So some nice competitions there for the July, Gary. And I mean, I'm sure you'll be structuring a pick 6 on the day as well.
I'm going to take quite a few pick 6s. When I was on the plane now, I thought about my strategy, and my strategy is simple. In the 1, I'm going to bank Eden Rock, who I think is probably the best bet on the card, Brent? Right. In the other one, I'll probably bank Do It Again because he's my pick in the July. And I'll play around those bankers. In the other one, I'm not going to bank Susanna. I think that's a really, really tough race. But I mean, a lot of people. And in the other one, I'll bank my horse, just be out of sentiment and everything, you know. So I've got different bankers that I'll have in different pick 6s, and I'll play around them, right? So I'm probably going to choose 4 horses on the day. It was something that I learned with Neil. Choose 4 horses on the day, and if any 2 of them win, I'll win a part of the pick 6. Brent,
yes.
Do it there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Generally, there's big results on the day. I'm going to take a PA, bar pots. There's more than one jackpot. Yeah, I'm going to get involved. I mean, yes, of course, I'm a bookmaker and I'm on that side of the fence, but I've been punting on the July since I was 4 or 5 years old. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop now, you know, because, you know what I mean? That's what I love, you know?
No, that's it. And just Eden Rock, it's funny, we did a Durban July preview with Jason Dedekind.
Yes.
And he liked to warm in the main race, so he differs from you slightly there. That's his best bet. But he had exactly the same strategy. He was going to bank a Hawam, and Eden Rock was his best bet on the card. He said that was it. So he was going to go for a similar strategy to you there.
And I'll tell you something. We talked about the July. It just came to my mind now. That I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to Durban at this time of the year always. And my greatest passion was the July. Obviously, I couldn't see it. It wasn't on TV. But my grandfather, who came from Lithuania, was a massive punter. Useless. But anyway, he was a little bit better, you know what I mean? I'd be driving around in a decent car. can't blame him, you know what I mean? But anyway, he's a great guy. And I used to study the card, and I knew every horse. That was my party trick, right? When I was 5 years old, you know. Other guys used to know the alphabet. I knew every horse in the July, what number it was, where it was drawn, and who the jockey was, right? So it always brings back great memories for me, the July and everything. And I'll tell you something interesting that I just remember now. And I'm definitely going for Eden Rock now. My grandparents owned a flat in a building called Montezuma. And from the room that I stayed in was a hotel literally across the road. And the hotel was the Eden Rock. And I just remembered it now. That was my passion in Durban. One was the July.
You're sounding more and more like my gran every time I speak to you, Gary. Every year, we take a draw in the July, and she's got this uncanny knack of hitting the winner. She's 93 now, but I used to take her to Kenilworth Racetrack, and there was like a packet shaped. It was from Jet, and it was gold, and there was a horse called Jet of Gold. And she was nuts. She goes and backs the winner. You know, unbelievable. That's the beauty about horse racing in a day like this. You don't have to study form. You could just get involved and have a lot of fun.
No, for sure. I mean, one thing I want to tell you about Montezuma, right? When I got a little bit older, and it wasn't only about horses, and I was about 11 or 12, and things started to change in my body. My uncle lived in that flat as well, right? And he used to smuggle in penthouses and Playboys from Swaziland in those days. And I knew where he hid them. So obviously, you know what I mean? I used to get into his stash of penthouses. And what's the best thing about the Eden Rock? You also used to have binoculars for the race course. And I used to just look, and I used to go up and down that building because so many women used to come out of the shower and not realize the 12-year-old perv next door trying to see what was going on in all the rooms, you know? It was like, you know what I mean? It was, if you could catch like a jackpot on the horses, you know what I mean? And then a jackpot.
You caught the 12-year-old jackpot there, basically, Gary.
It was, if you had said to me, what would I rather have caught? Like one girl coming out the shower that I could see, or you know what I mean, the jackpot at Greyville, it would have been torture for me to choose which one. I probably would have gone, I don't know. I mean, now it would be easy. I need the money, you know, I'd go for the jackpot. But I mean, in those days, I might have gone for the girl. It would have been a good one.
You may have. Anyway. Just to mention some of the saddlecloth numbers coming in around the 30 to 40 mark. Robert G, that's my roulette number. I haven't played in a few years, but 29 he's gone with for the saddlecloth. I've got a feeling someone's going to hit this saddlecloth on the nose, Gary.
Let me ask you a question. 29 your number?
Yeah, 29 was my roulette number.
Okay, so what are the two neighbors to 29?
29, well, you got 28, 7, 18, and what was the other one? I haven't played in about 20 years, but those were three of them.
22 and 9 aren't far away either, you know?
22, yeah. 22 was the one, I think. 28, yeah. 7 and 18 were next door, though. 7 and 18 were next door.
Yeah, exactly. I know, you're good, huh?
Zero was my other one, and then you had 3 and 32 either side. I used to be able to name the roulette wheel. I was very sick in those days, Gary.
6 is next to the 32, isn't it? If you
What's that?
26 is also around that area.
26 is also neighbor to zero as well.
23, 8, 11 are all down on the other side there. Those spook numbers, you know what I'm saying? But so that's the story about the July. Like I said, we there, you know what I mean? It's going to be a great. I haven't been this excited about a July since like I might have been 12 or 13 years old. What a race! And you know what I mean? Like I said, may the best horse win, unless it's one of them that we played, then it run second. But whatever, you know what I mean? It will be great.
Excellent. Well, also there's a good preview on the Good for the Game website. You can read there. Lots of saddlecloth numbers and swingers coming in. So I'm looking forward to doing the admin on this one and seeing who hits the swingers. But Gary, given I've got 11 minutes to my next show, I guess we better talk some Super Rugby Final, because it is, of course, the Crusaders against the Hagiaris, a dream story with a team from Argentina making it through to the final. Everybody's saying it's very good for the game and that sort of stuff. I'm not too worried about it as long as I make money on the final. And you came out at 14.5, and I see you've held your line but moved your price there. 11 to 10 now, Crusaders minus, and I think it was 7 to 10, the plus 14.5.
Bit sad that I got forced that way, because you know what happened is we generally act first, as you know, every week.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It happened this week, right? Because as the semi-finals finished, so bet 365 came out before we could even sneeze, and they came out at 15.5. And I always thought, right, I'm going to go a little bit lower, 14.5, and see where it is, because I had a bit of a feeling for the Jaguares, you know. But the next day, everybody came out at 13.5, and all of a sudden, I was the biggest plus, thinking I was going to be the biggest minus, say, Brent. So anyway, I've been forced into the camp of the Crusaders, and I'll be honest with you, not by choice. Having said that, you know what I mean, the Crusaders, if they won by 25, it wouldn't be a shock, you know what I mean? It's a long way to travel. You know what I mean? It's their first major final. But my gut feeling is that I don't think that the Crusaders are going to cover the spread. I think I'm going to do my money. That's my honest feeling, Brent. I think that this Jaguar side, they got an outside chance. Don't write them off completely to lift that trophy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I think they've got an outside chance. Look, I took plus 14.5, and then I took your plus 14, which at the time was 19 to 20 as well. So I did take it. And look, I'm very much a Crusaders guy in the playoffs. I mean, I was on them against the Highlanders. I lost my money last week. I was on them against the Hurricanes. There's something about the way they played that second half that didn't impress me, and also the fact that Barrett and Crotty are missing, and just the passion of this Argentine side. I think they're going to hang. I'm looking for a narrow Crusaders win here, but I'm not riding off the Jaguars. And I can tell you, I've got a guy coming on my rugby show who hasn't been on for a while, Oracle Rugby. I think he packed things in after dropping Granny's pension money a few times. But he's so bullish on the Jaguars. He sent me a message straight after. He said, "I've got to come on your show Thursday night." Right. So anyway, we should have an interesting show, and guys, that's at 9:00 there. But so it should be good. Points line I have seen come out overseas, Gary, at around about the 47.5 point mark. I'd say that looks about right for a final.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is right. Another thing. I think it is right and everything, and I think that. Look, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I'd have handicapped the game without it being led by Bet365, I would have probably been 11.5 and 12.5. They're around that area.
I was 9.5. That's why I thought the 14.5 was a great price.
I've got a feeling that the total point is going to finish pretty close to 50, Brent. That would be my guess. 49, 52 round, somewhere in between there. I think there'll be more points than people think towards the end of the game. It will open up. You know what I'm saying? Unless obviously it's, you know what I mean. But I think there will be more than 49 points. It's going to be a great game, and you know what I mean. What a weekend! And I mean, the truth be told, pity it has to be spoiled with a shitty cricket game, South Africa getting hammered by Australia. But you know what I mean? Nothing you can do about that, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. We'll talk about your price boost now quickly on that before we close the show. But let's run a quick rugby comp. Should we do the usual one? What do you want to do? Something a bit different this week, Gary, in terms of what the guys have to predict?
What did we say we're going to do there, Brent? We're going to say first points, how the first points will be scored.
How the first points will be scored.
And we'll give 500 for each one, right? I mean, we'll give 1,000.
Yes.
Total. Okay, shoot.
So what is it? How the first points will be scored?
And first try score of the match.
Okay, so it's going to be, for example, Crusaders penalty first scoring play would be the right answer if they get a penalty, and then who the first try scorer is. Correct. And okay, 100%.
Both to get the 1,000 rand. If they don't get it both, we'll give it to the person that gets the first try scorer. And if nobody gets the first try scorer, we'll go back to the first play and we'll just split it amongst all the winners.
Excellent, guys. You've got a couple of minutes to get those on the live chat while Gary and I quickly talk about the price boost on the Australia game. I see you've gone 21-10 the Proteas, Gary.
Yeah, I just think that, they've had a couple of, as they call them, hollow victories. I don't want to get onto that word. But I think that it's an Australian side that are going to want to finish first. I think that there's a big advantage to finishing first in this World Cup. You're going to play against a New Zealand side that looks like they've lost their way. You know what I'm saying, Brent? Whereas if you finish second or third, you've got a problem, right? You either got to beat England or India, and then you've got to go to a final and, you know what I mean, beat Australia if they finish first, Whereas if Australia finish second, then they've got that problem. They're going to have to beat England and then go probably play India, or beat India and then go play. New Zealand have lost their way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The matter is, I'll be honest with you, I think that if we played New Zealand and our lives depended on it, both sides, I would give us a chance. One of the few sides that I think that we got a chance against. That's how bad I think New Zealand have lost their way. They seem to rely, there's Ferguson, whatever his name is, a lot on him now. You know what I'm saying? Saudi hasn't quite done it. Of course, there's Bolt, but I think they lack in the bowling all of a sudden. And they're a team that when Williamson fails, none of the people after him think that they can get runs. That is their mental problem right now. Williamson fails, New Zealand fail, period. You'd like to play New Zealand. They are so far inferior to the other three sides in the semi-final. That's provided they go through, which is 99%. I mean, I've seen some of the calculations to get Pakistan through. It's a bit of a tough one.
It's almost ridiculous. Gary, I'm going to call it a show. It's been great chatting to you about the July, and I love listening to you talk about the horses. It takes me back to the old betting world days when we both used to be in the studio there together. Yep. But thanks very much. Thanks to all the guys in the live chat. The entry's still coming in for the rugby competition. You've probably got about 30 seconds left, guys, so you better get those in because I will be checking it on the live chat. And Gary, thanks a lot. Enjoy your day at the July. I think it's going to be great.
Best to everybody. I hope everybody wins a really lot of money, and we'll see you next Thursday. We'll do another show, Brent.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Gary. And for those of you who want to see the other promo, we didn't get a chance to really talk about it, but go down below. I've put all the things. You've got to email GGGaming, and there's some betting vouchers up there. It's in the comment section. I'm not going to waffle any longer because, of course, we're starting our show in around about 4 minutes' time. And with my slow email, I may not even get the link to the boys in time for the show. But looking forward to talking to Oracle Rugby, Couch Critic, and also Henrik, who also makes his return tonight after a couple of weeks off, and see what they think about the Super Rugby Final and the Currie Cup. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and great to have all those entries coming in. We'll see you in about 3 minutes' time.